time in racing line history, Jerry A. Gardner. This time because Colin Mills is flashing his headlights, he's done all he can. Good evening, guys and girls, and welcome back to the Racing Line for the Racing Line Touring Car Championship, powered by GT Omega in partnership with VCO eSports. Here you can watch us on YouTube and Twitch across the Racing Line channel and VCO eSports channel, of course. We're back for round 6 of this Touring Car Championship, races 16, 17 and 18. And yes, Andre, I have managed to wake up on time tonight. The live timing thing, I imagine, looks similar to mine, and it should look pretty good, and it enhances the viewing experience, I believe. If you've got enough space on your screens, then I highly recommend using that, as you may see something on that timing screen that I will not see on stream. Kakula says, is the music coming on twice, or am I tripping? I don't know the answer to that question. And Jerry1984 says, is there a website? Yes, there is. At the bottom of the screen it says theracingline.org, where you can catch up on all the results of the RLTC Season 2 and Season 1 and all the previous 3 Jetta Cup seasons, with some lovely photography provided by VCO eSports. I think quite a few people may have seen some of their photos recently, as the Racing Line Touring Car Championship last time out last week was at Silverstone, and Silverstone themselves very much liked that tweet and those pictures, therefore increasing engagement, which is what you guys should be doing. If you don't follow us on Twitter, then follow us on Twitter at TRL Racing Line. But we're not going to go on about that, all of that YouTube and follow me stuff, because we are here back at Imola for the 2nd season in a row. Last year was the Racing Line Touring Car Championship debut, Season 1. We came to Imola then, and it was just after a touring car update where the BOP got changed and all the drivers were excited to drive their new balance of powered cars, shall we say. And here we are 1 year later for the Racing Line Touring Car Championship Season 2, back at Imola for round 6, the penultimate round. Only one more round to go after this at Magny-Cours, and they've done it again. It's a BOP update once again, where the Hyundais have been weighed down, the Hondas have been weight shed, and the Audis haven't been touched. So I wonder if it's going to be a different situation. And I think, well, the easiest way to tell that is, let's have a look at those race times. We're here at Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, Imola, once again with 7 minutes left to practice. And there are your times on the screen on the left-hand side. It's a 1:54.6 for Morgan Burkhardt right now, championship leader, fastest in practice, with Roman Perschke in the Honda not far behind in P2. Kieran Dempsey's now up into P3. Scheller and Siegmann are up there as well for Team Husingveld in the top 6. As Thurtle jumps up into P3, I think that was, knocking Scheller down. Dan Mould is up there in P7. So 2 SRL cars up there. Mark Draper not in the session, it seems, right now. 27 cars in the session. Henry Mawson, Jesus Amundere and Mark Draper would be those that are missing. Where will the fun race on the 31st be, says Jerry1984. On the 31st? 27th is the fun race. If we have a look at that poster, for those of you joining us, have a quick look at this, because it is open. Watch the action live on Monday the 27th of March at 8 PM, normal time is the stream. It is the RLTC grid, which is all the drivers you see now driving their touring cars in their lovely liveries around the beautiful Le Mans circuit. The historic layout, by the way, so no chicanes, for fun. And a final goodbye to the Volkswagen Jetta from the official races. I get emotional every time I think about it. But obviously the Volkswagen Jetta Cup will likely return for Season 4 at some point, normally in the late phase of the year, around September. But officially the Jetta is gone from iRacing in terms of SimLabs. It's been replaced by the Clio. So there are 30 spaces for those that want to drive that car, and I would like to see them filled up. The event is free, so there's no payment needed. Just join the Discord for further updates. The sign-up form will be available soon. There are no rules on that sign-up. It is just a fun race. There are no points on offer. And, of course, it will be streamed here on the Racing Line channel. Thank you, Jerry, for reminding me about about that. Anyway, 5 minutes left. Shall we have a rundown of what's happened in this championship? We'll start off with the teams championship. There's a little bingo card going around in the Discord. One of those... Oh, that's Fabian Siegman. Exploring the track limits there. Going down into Aqua Minerale. One of the bingo squares on the bingo card that's doing the rounds on Discord is Championship Drama at Silverstone. And I feel like we can tick that off, even though the street... Well, there was many things that were Championship Drama. One, I didn't turn up, apparently, on the Monday night because I was asleep. Fell asleep when I got home from work, didn't wake up till the next day. My Monday disappeared. I apologise for that. We did stream it on Thursday, though, so if you want to catch Silverstone, you can rewatch it. What else happened? Well, Pulsus lost the lead of the teams championship, and what a way to do it as well. Kieran Dempsey starts in the top 3 with his ignition off. Doesn't go anywhere at the start of the race. Escapes, and then the dodging Arthur Thurtle of Team SRL moves away from that disappearing car and hits Pulsus eSports teammate Stephen King off of the circuit at the start of the race, knocking them down in the results and therefore down in the standings. But it is one of the closest teams championships we have seen in a while. There's normally 2 teams in with a shout, but right now we've got 3 teams very much close together, all in the 4-digit mark. Zero Forks Given in 10th place, 3 points behind Meatball Motorsport. So they will be looking to gain that position today in P9. Lurchus Gaming are also within reach. Goldwing are pretty much in solid P7 now, unless they can catch Team ORD, who are just nearly 100 points ahead, around 80 points ahead. Team ORD are in P6. You've then got a big jump up to Street Casuals in P5, only 4 points behind Team SRL, probably as a result of Dan Mould sitting out in race 3 last time out. Probably cost the team big. Street Casuals could still do it, but they have only got 2 drivers. Then again, Mark Draper is not here tonight. Both Audi drivers missing from SRL and Street Casuals, so an even fight for those 2 teams. And then you've got the top 3, the big 3, Pulsus eSports and All Sports Racing, the regulars who are up there fighting for the championships. And then you've got Team Husingfeld, who joined us in the very late stage of sign up, and here they are leading the championship by 20 points. With Fabian Siegman hunting down Morgan Burkhardt for the Drivers' Championship as well. Hobby Raccoon on Twitch says, let's go ZFG. Yes, you celebrate their successes. 1.5 minutes left. Let's have a quick breakdown of the Drivers' standings, if I can get this done before that 30-minute mark. Let's have a look. Caraday closing down on Henry Morse, who won't be here, so Caraday should jump up into 29th. Parfit's there in 28th. Jan Weiswanger and Yeezus Samundere are tied on points with 126. Jan Weiswanger will be passing him since he is not here. Brandon Hughes on 131 points, chasing down Duncan Moraine in 24th. Martin Wallace and Dan Thornton tied on points with 160 each, so those 2 are racing each other, both in Hyundais. Joe Gibson for Team ORD, 171 points. Equalaqua up next with 183 points, but a qualifying ban, so we'll be starting at the back of the grid in race 1. Mark Draper in 19th with Steve Halewood and Carl Ridley joint on 206 points. Roman Persky is down in 16th with 230 points with his luck. 248 points for Stephen Fry after his amazing P2 last time out. He sits in 15th. Corpus, with a race win to his name early in the season, sits in P14 still, with Kieran Dempsey up into 13th with 260 points. Sam Van Olst is P12 now, 291 after missing around because of internet issues. Dan Mould with 317 points in 11th place. Stefan Scheller, Eric Mannenfeld, John Bailiff, Arthur Thurtle, Matt Zanson, Stephen King, 10th to 5th. And then your top 4, Austin Farr, Jake Cranston, Fabian Siegman is chasing down Morgan Burkhardt, who has 499 points, 1 point away from that 500 point mark. Had to rush at the end there, because if that ticked over, then it may have got stuck. The gaps between these guys, 88 hundredths as Stefan Scheller now goes fastest in the Audi here at Imola. We have not seen a fast Audi, or a fastest Audi, for a long while. It's got to be said, it's looking unlikely for Sam Van Olst to take the Audi Championship now, which we will go through during qualifying, as we see some of the drivers exiting the pits now. There's Eric in his Street Casuals orange machine. Don't forget to jump in chat, show your support to whichever team or driver that you are supporting, or just say hello to me. It is just me here, the Racing Line. Jack Johns, your commentator for this evening. Have a look at this. This is your season so far. In terms of race wins, we said Siegmund was catching Morgan Burkhardt. He had 6 out of the last 9 race wins. Since Brazil, he's been on form, has Fabian Siegmund for Team Husingveld. But Morgan Burkhardt is currently just doing enough to stay in front. Jay Decker says, evening, Jack. Hand pink waving. I'm guessing that's an emoji that I can't see on my chat. But it doesn't matter. Hi, Jay. Thanks for joining on YouTube. Yeah, look at that. So round 1, we had Scheller, Cranston, Corpus taking race wins at Phillip Island. Burkhardt, Mould and Cranston took race wins at Okayama. Then it was Siegmund, Thurtle at Interlagos, followed by Siegmund, Mould, Siegmund in Canada, and then Siegmund, Burkhardt, Siegmund in Britain, or the UK, for Silverstone. And here we are at Imola, where we've seen our only racing line, Team 1, 2, 3, which was held by Pulsus, with Connor Mills in 3rd. I think, can't remember which way around the other 2 were. Was it John that won and Stephen King in 2nd? I feel like that's the correct order. Can't remember if Stephen King won any races. But it is what it is. Anyway, what was I saying? Championship order. We rushed that top 10, so let's just have a quick look at this and see if anyone's close together. Mats Anderson and Arthur Thurtle are in a tight Honda battle. And they're actually not that far from Stephen King, to be fair, in P5 after his nightmare at Silverstone. Austin Farr, though, is also fighting Jake Cranston for best Honda there in P3, with the top 2 both being in Hyundais. If we have a look at the Manufacturers' Championships, let's start with the Audi. Stefan Scheller now leagues ahead of Sam after missing a round, did Sam Van Olst. Kieran Dempsey, though, closing down on the 92 Goldwing kart, with Steve Halewood in 4th and Mark Draper in 5th out of the Audis. Iker Gibson, Amundere, Parfit and Morse round off your 10 Audis. Let's go to the Hyundais next. Your championship leaders are up there with a hefty lead over John Bailiff, the next Hyundai, with 370 points. Eric Mannenveld is actually only 7 points behind, so that P3 battle is not over. Dan Mould in P5, Corpus, Fry, Ridley, Thornton and Wallace round off your Hyundai top 10. And then you got Thornton and Wallace actually trying to fight for not being the last Hyundai there, so that will be an interesting one to keep an eye on. And then finally your Honda Championship, which I think is the closest in terms of groupings, I guess. You got Jake Cranston and Austin Farr up there, separated by 8 points. Stephen King is still within a shot, as is Mats and Arthur, I think. You've got the top 5 there, probably still within reach. Roman Persky, unfortunately, looks out of it, with Murray, Hughes, Weisfang and Carraday rounding off those 10 cars. And that is how your championship sits. I don't know who the first car in this train is, because there's so many cars. I can see Stephen King's dot up there, but who's he got in front of him? The Husingveld boys and Morgan Burkhardt. So Fabian Siegmund, Scheller and Burkhardt in front of Stephen King. Let's stay on board with this man for the first time lap around Imola. Well, this will be the time lap actually, because we've been talking about the standings for a while, so we should see some times popping up on the screen as Morgan Burkhardt goes to pass Stefan Scheller, Stephen King. So those 2 up ahead, invalidated laps. Stephen King goes up to P2. Dan Mould in P3. Half a second back, though, is Mould. So King only 500ths off of Fabian Siegmund, who currently sits on pole with a 155.4. Bailiff puts it in P5, but look at the gaps. So those laps not too relevant. We're going to stay on board with Stephen as we go into this chicane. Down into 3rd. Chucks it in, mounts those curves. Doesn't cross the curb line there on the exit. I think he's going to get hindered by the Audi up the road here. Maybe not at this phase, but if he's quicker through the next few corners. This is that Honda engine climb up the hill. See Arthur Thurtle, I think that was, jumping up into P4 and the standings on the left. And now look, I love this section of the circuit. It drops away, goes downhill. You chuck it into this fast right, they downshift to 4th gear. Still braking, and then the apex starts going uphill rapidly here. I don't think the cameras do it justice as Roman Persky jumps up into P3. What can Stefan Scheller do this time round? He is the car in front, the Husingveld Audi in front. cars with times on the board so far. The 1Xs round here are a bit of a nightmare. There's going to be a lot of invalid lap times today. Ooh, a bit of understeer for both drivers there. Stephen enters the final corner. I don't think this is going to be better. I could be wrong. 155.4 to beat, so 156.6 it's coming up with there, I think. Jake Cranston goes fastest in the Honda with a 155.3. He was the car behind, actually, was Jake, so he was getting that tow. Sam Van Olst just crosses the line, jumps up into P10 in the Goldwing Audi. Only 3 minutes to go, so everyone should get at least one more lap in. 17 cars have now set times. But this man, Stefan Scheller, in the Husqvarna Audi, has not. So this needs to be the lap. He's still got King behind. Morgan Burkhardt up the road. Look at them. Look at that angle as they come into that corner. And they'll start climbing up the hill. And then this is the deadly camera shot of the chicane where we can see. Look at the Hyundai absolutely mounted those curves. And then this is the final turn. We have got some drone cams back tonight. Oh, look at that. Fabian Siegmann moving out the way of his teammate there. In rapid fashion. I think Stefan's going to put a valid lap in this time. As he exits the final corner. Goes down that beautifully long main straight. Crosses the line. Is it valid? It is. It pops him up into P7. Just behind his teammate Fabian Siegmann. So two Husqvarna boys together. Stephen King still in front of both of those guys. Anderson and Cranston, Perschke, and now Burkhardt is on pole with a 54.9. Morgan Burkhardt. Has he been putting the work in this week after feeling a little bit of pressure? The American driver sits on pole with the Austrian driver of Roman Perschke in the Husqvarna Honda, currently in P2. Is this going to be Roman's big points haul for the team? Cranston sits in P3, so it's an all-sports sandwich, or a Perschke sandwich, with all-sports bread. Mats Borg Anderson's in the pit, so he's done. There's 1 minute 10 left of qualifying. Dan Mould sits in P8. Arthur Thurtle just slots up behind him, so Arthur Thurtle has just crossed the line. Kieran Dempsey. Steve Hellwood's had a good showing for Team ZFG here. He's up into P11, just 1 second back. When you think of how many corners around this circuit. And Eric Mannitveld just 9 thousandths behind him in the Street Casuals Hyundai. But Steve Hellwood in that Audi up into 11th place. That's a prime position for a reverse grid in race 3. Carl Ridley's in the pits. John Bailiff's still going. He's in P14. David Corpus is still going. Currently in P15. And the Goldwing boys of Sam and Duncan have dropped back into 17th and 18th, with a few cars still not setting times. Ika Lequay and Caraday are sitting out a quali ban. James Parfitt's in the pits. He hasn't set a time. Stephen Fry's just crossed the line and jumped up into P15, making it 23 out of the 24, 5, 6, 7 cars setting a time. So he's happy with that. Flashing his lights, crosses the line, gets his time in, and qualifying has finished. Didn't sleep through it today, says Vince Gussie on YouTube. I did not. I am here and I'm ready. A little bit croaky, but we will survive. 8 lap races here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a look at that grid. So, Morgan Burkhardt takes another pole position. Took it last time out, and here he is again. Roman Perschke, though, teammate, rival Roman Perschke, is in P2. Jake Cranston and Mats Casper Anderson sit in the second row. Stephen King and Fabian Siegmann on the third row. Scheller and Mould on row 4, with Thurtle and Dempsey rounding off your top 10. Hailwood and Manitveld on row 6. Carl Ridley and John Bailiff row 7. Stephen Fry and David Corpus row 8. Martin Wallace and Duncan Murray on row 9. And Sam Van Olst and Dan Thornton rounding off your top 20. With Brandon Hughes, Joe Gibson, Jan Weisfanger, Austin Farr, Ike Lequay, James Parfitt and Alejandro Caraday rounding off your grid. Is the Audi fast again, says Chris Smith in YouTube chat. Where is the top Audi? Stefan Scheller in P7. Doesn't look like it's made too much of a difference, to be honest. But you guys tell me. What was the best camera? How did we start here last time? I guess it's here. This is the best one. You can pretty much see most of the grid as they bend round the curvy straight. Does Austin also have a quali ban, or did he just 1x every single lap? No, just the two Lurchus Academy boys, Lurchus Gaming boys, sorry. Caraday and Lequay were the only quali bans. There's a few that are close, but Austin Farr and Parfitt not looking like they set lap times as the 5 lights come on. And round race 16 of 18 starts today. The lights are out and away they go as they all start shuffling. It looks like Roman Perschke's had a blinding start as he already starts a run down towards turn 1. He's going to have a look around the outside of Morgan Burkhardt into turn 1. Can he get the nose in? He does, and Roman Perschke takes the lead immediately. Up into P1 with Mats Anderson moving up into P3 as well. Can he pass Jake Cranston? That's Stephen King in P5. Siegman stuck behind them all. But what a start from the Husingveld Honda of Roman Perschke. Mats Borg Anderson still side by side with Jake Cranston behind. And Jake Cranston backs out of it, stays in P4 with Stephen King looking to take advantage and go around the outside of Tozer into the hairpin. He's got Siegman trying to get up the inside and take advantage of that. And up the hill they go. Dan Mould is in there as well. He's up 1 position. He's past Stefan Scheller in the Audi. Kieran Dempsey, though, is all over the back of him. But Eric Manitveld sticking his nose in to the fast left-hander as they go out to the top of the hill. It's a dangerous move to get it done there because he can't run him out wide, but he gets it done. Eric Manitveld moves up into P9. Dempsey goes down a place. He's got Bailiff behind. Austin Farr side by side with Dan Thornton at the back of the grid. But he's passed a few drivers already. Can he go around the outside of Aqua Minerale? Austin Farr, he's trying to pass Dan Thornton as quick as he can. Dan slid his car around and Austin Farr goes through. That's how you gain a position. Just wait for the other guy to make a mistake. Turn 1 is going to be a lot of fun, says Vince Cussy in chat. But Austin Farr up into P21 now. He's up 3 places. The biggest gainer is Sam Van Olst, though, I think has just made another move on Steve Hailwood into the chicane. And Duncan Murray now is going to come through as well as they exit that corner side by side. As they go down the hill now towards Ravazza, the 2 left-handers. Bit of rubbing. Duncan gets the position. It looks like Martin Wallace is going to come through now as well. And Corpus. Steve Hailwood struggling for speed right now. Some sort of pace. It looks like they're 4-5 wide on the straight. And then Martin Wallace is slowing down. I wonder if he got a slowdown somewhere. Maybe in the chicane. But he's let a lot of cars go. So Martin Wallace going down the order. Arthur Thurtle looks like he's losing position to Stephen Fry here. They're swapping over into turn 1 they go. Arthur Thurtle around the outside. Bit of a knock there from the rear of Stephen Fry's car. Can Arthur save it? What a save from that man in the Team SRL car. Slides his car around but loses 2 positions to Goldwing Motorsports, but he's still in the race. I don't think he's got damage. Or does he? Because he's going very slow. Oh, unless he's just gathering his thoughts, trying to get his head back in. But Stephen Fry's gone off as well. Or is he just giving that position back? Confusing times. It may have been a position give back. Oh, he had a slowdown because he's given more positions back than just Arthur. So I think Stephen Fry had his own issues there. Your leader. This is the lead fight still. Roman Perschke still very much leading this race, in control as he goes into Aqua Minerale. Morgan Burkhardt is going to be chasing him down slowly but surely. He's 5 tenths back with Mats Borg Anderson in for a podium position as well. Jake Cranston is under pressure from Fabian Siegman, but he'll be doing all he can to keep him behind for his teammate. Stephen King has dropped a position to Fabian, which we saw make that move into the hairpin. Dan Mould and Stefan Scheller behind. Kieran Dempsey still leads the Pulsus duo back here, but Eric Manitveld will be hunting them down slowly but surely. This has been a... I've just realised, apart from like Martin Wallace losing 10 places due to a slowdown or whatever it was, No one's dead. No one is out of this race, and we're on lap 2. We're approaching lap 3 of this race. Have I just jinxed something? I don't know, but look at this. 3 Goldwing cars in a row. Carl Ridley, Sam Van Olst, Duncan Murray. If we go on to the back of Eric Manivell's car, we should see them all just under that Hyundai rear wing. Not quite. I guess not. Roman Persky, Burkhardt, Mats Borg Andersen. Look at these two side by side. Sigmund is trying. He is all over the back of Jake Cranston. Is he going to have a look up the inside of this next corner? He is. He's on the inside, but now he's on the outside of the next corner. Jake's going to give him room. He's got his car there, has Fabian, and now he's on the inside of the hairpin. What can Jake do? Round the outside of the hairpin. He's going to try and keep his nose there as the battle continues, but Fabian Sigmund goes through Jake Cranston. And now he's up into P4 and ready to hunt down that 2-second gap towards the top 3. He's got Anderson to pass yet, but at the moment Burkhardt is the lead car out of these two on track, which means the gap will be extended slightly if the race finishes as is. I did jinx it. Said everyone survived, and I can see Jan Weiswanger in the pits, but why? Oh, his car looks already damaged there. Bit of a knock with Caraday, slides it into turn 1. Oh, I thought he saved it. Hit the wall. What did I miss? Dan Mole is still very close to the back of Stephen King. The Hyundai, I think, with an extra 20 kilos of weight because of the update, and the Honda's lost 6 kilos. So remember, all of these guys... Oh, this looks like a slowdown from Dan Mould. Stefan Scheller goes through. Slow down to kill around here. Can really make or break your race, as you can see from Martin Wallace. He was doing well, but now he's down in 26th place. Don't forget, ZFG, which are the red squares on your left-hand side. Halewood, Hughes and Wallace. They are currently chasing down the purple and the dark green squares of Fry, Weiswanger, McQuay, Caraday and Corpus. So they need red squares in front of all of those if they want to gain in that team's championship. They're currently P10. They will likely gain P9 from Meatball Motorsport, which is purple, but they are chasing down Lurch's Gaming in dark green. But Corpus at the moment carrying their team in that race win, doing all good. This man has just set the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:54.9. It's coming up as fastest on my screen, but 1:54.8 was what Roman Persky done, but it's not coming up as best time, so I guess it was invalidated. But it counts there. He got a 1:54.8 on that timing screen, so who knows what to believe. Count up there. That's what your times look like across the cars. 54.8 for the Honda, 54.9 for the Hyundai, 55.8 for the Audi. Fastest Audi, 1 second down on the other two cars. So maybe the Audi is not back. Weiswanger got incident before his last wall hit. Probably car broken already, says Kakala. It looked like him and Caraday made contact into turn 1. I don't know if there was a crash before that. Last thing I can see was Stephen Fry going off track, which we all saw anyway. We go on to lap 5 of 8 already. As Austin Farr, I think. Oh, there's been a big one. There's been something big. Who is that? That is Lurchus Gaming, Austin Farr, and Halewood. And that was the jinx. Let's see what happened with these guys then. Austin Farr on the inside of Halewood. Inside of the final turn. Barges him out wide. Steve Halewood comes back on. I would hope that's not malicious, but then Corpus just a passenger. That's what ZFG wanted, because Corpus was the lead Lurch's car. it's hard to call. Hard to call on live. We'll let the stewards deal with that. But Austin Farr comes back out. Dan Mould still sitting pretty in P8 for Team SRL. He lost out to Stefan Scheller because of what looked like a slowdown. Stefan trying to chase down Stephen King. Most people still in a train on that lead lap. Closest fight right now is this man. This is Eric Mannenveld in Street Casuals, chasing down John Bailiff in P10. You've robbed Ed May of his commentator's curse power, says Jay Decker on YouTube chat. Suspicious steering wheel movement there, says Andre. Yeah, looked a bit naughty from the in-car view, says Biggie Morello on Twitch. I always get crucified if I call Steward in on live stream, just in case I get it wrong. I have got it wrong before when calling it live. Obviously when I look back I get all the angles and I'm almost never wrong, right guys? I'm never wrong when it's looked back. But during stream I've definitely called stuff wrong before, just at the angles that we've seen. So now I'm just very cautious. I wouldn't like to say that that was intentional, but we can't argue with 3 people in chat also saying that it looked that way. Or naughty, not intentional but naughty. Eric Mannenveld got pretty close there, but John is not an easy person to pass, as we know. If we have a look at that, in each car, Husingveld are currently leading 2 of the 3 classes. Trying to work out who. I'm pretty sure Husingveld will be pulling away in the team's championship if it finished as it stands. Got 1 in 1st, 1 in 4th, 1 in 7th, and then we've got 6th, 9th and 10th for Pulsus. James Parfitt's having a quiet race. He's currently chasing down. Well, he's not. That's a lapped car, Jan Weiswager, but he's being chased down by Equiliquate. Stephen Burns, the steward, says both drivers ended in the pits, so will be dealt with post-race. Oh, look at this, Equiliquate currently chasing down. It looked like his car was damaged then. He's up 2 places. Is that just my eyes, or does his front left look broken? Anyway, something's happened up here. There's smoke up ahead. And it's Roman Perschke. Oh no. Is that a slowdown for the race leader? Roman Perschke, there was smoke up ahead and there's been a change for the lead. And now Sigmund is up into P3. Burkhardt takes the lead. Mats Borg Andersen is P2, 1.7 seconds back. Mats Borg Andersen will be doing everything he can to keep that man behind, I'm sure, to keep that P2. But what happened in the lead? Equiliquate has passed James Parfitt around the outside towards the inside. How has he passed James Parfitt? Because that was Parfitt passing Equiliquate. Sorry, my mistake. Anyway, how did it happen at for the leaders? Yeah, it is a slowdown. That is Roman Perschke moving over on the straight. And then does it get worse from here? So he's let Morgan go through. And we saw smoke going into turn 1. Oh, he's on the grass! Slid the car. Drifted, and that's why he was slow on the exit there. So initially it was a slowdown. He only lost the 1 place. Then Mats Borg Andersen and Fabian come through. Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. He'll be kicking himself. But here's your fight. It's Fabian Siegmund looking to the outside of Mats Borg Andersen, who had an epic battle with Connor Mills here last year. And here they go down towards turn 1. It's reminiscent of that fight, to be honest. Fabian will be new to this, but Mats Borg Andersen has been in this situation before. Bounces over the curbs, holds on to P2 on the exit, and it looks like he's going to get the better run. But he's got 2 Husingveld cars piling on the pressure. Moves to the middle of the road to defend the next corner, just to stop Sigmund from having a look. It's the right thing to do if you want to defend your position. If he didn't, then even if Sigmund put a nose there, it puts you offline and potentially in danger of a send. But Mats Borg Andersen holding on. This is the final lap right now. The final lap, guys and girls. Lap 8 of 8, and Morgan Burkhardt leads the way. Andersen is 2 seconds back at P2, but Sigmund all over the back of him. Is he going to take risks, or is he going to settle for P3 for now and try again in race 2? Carl Ridley, Van Olst and Murray are still together on circuit in 12th, 13th and 14th. And all 3 Pulsars cars are together on circuit as well. It always happens this way. But look at Sigmund closing in into the final part of this circuit as he goes up the hill towards the chicane. Surely he won't have a look into the chicane. It's a tricky move to be done. He's not close enough on this occasion. Bouncing through they go. Don't get a slowdown on the exit. Oh, they're flirting with those track limits on the exit through there. We go on to the nose cam of Fabian, the Team Husingveld machine. Down into the final corner. This is probably the last opportunity. He does close right up. He's not going to be able to do it into the final turn. Morgan Burkhardt, though, comes round the final turn and heads down the main straight. He's going to cross the line shortly. I think he's flashing his lights, and Morgan Burkhardt does cross the line in first place. Takes the win for Imola. Mats Borg Andersen finishes P2 with Fabian Sigmund in P3. And well, there you have it. And we see a few more drivers. They're all coming in now for their in-lap. But all the other drivers crossing the line. And wow, what a race. Did I catch up on chat? I think I pretty much got all the chats. Andre said he forgot where to brake when behind someone. That happens so often. I do that all the time. It's when you're in front or you've got a clear view, you get into a rhythm of the circuit. And then as soon as you get right behind someone and all you can see is their bumper, you can't see out of your periphery, you lose your braking point. And then mistakes happen. I think it was just the grass that threw him, to be honest. Looks like Arthur Thurtle gained a place there at the end on Duncan Murray. That looks very close. Not sure I can get a replay of that. I missed the start of the second race. So they came out the final corner side by side, and then it was a drag race to the line for the 2 Hondas. Duncan starts coming back. Oh, it was close between those 2. Interesting stuff. I think we're still waiting for someone to cross the line. It might have been Steve. Yeah, Steve just crossed the line. Okay. That's why we had time to do that. No problem. Grid time. Stefan Scheller then starts on pole this time with Jake Cranston in P2. Roman Persky P3. Fabian Sigmund P4. Mats and Morgan in P5 and 6. That is a dangerous looking top 4. Dan Mould and Stephen King on row 4. Dempsey and Bailiff row 5. Manintveld, Ridley row 6. Van Olst and Thurtle row 7. Murray, Corpus, Gibson, Thornton, Carraday, Wallace, Hughes, Farr, Parfitt, LeQuay, Halewood, Weiswanger and Fry round off your grid. Now let's go to the start of this race. Don't forget the music, says Andre Mayerek in chat. Always looking out for me. We don't want to watch. Well, I say looking out for me. We don't want to watch a whole race with that music on. But here we go. Calm before the storm. Gridding is done. Time is over. The lights are about to start. Jake Cranston starts P2 with Scheller on pole. 5 lights are on. And away they go. So race 2 is underway. This is round 17 of 21. Race 17 of 21. Round 6 of 7. We've got 1 round left after this. And Jake Cranston is being passed again at the start, I think, by Roman Persky, who's absolutely nailed his Honda starts. He's up one position into the chicane. Jake Cranston slots into P3 with Fabian Siegmann behind. And look at that, Morgan Burkhardt and Mats Borg Andersen side by side behind. Morgan Burkhardt sees his target, and it is the car in front, which is, oh, that's behind. We don't want to see behind, but he's past Mats Borg Andersen up into P5. Oh, gets on the gravel a little bit, and that is Fabian Siegmann in front of him now with his teammate Jake Cranston in front of him. Now we're going to start seeing some team tactics, but it is 2v3 up here at this end of the grid. 3 Husqvarna cars and 2 All Sports cars in the not the right order for Morgan Burkhardt for this championship. Although Fabian is only one place ahead of him, so he doesn't have to do anything stupid as they go into this middle sector. But Jake Cranston is going to try and hold Fabian up as best he can to provide an opportunity for his teammate, who I think got a slowdown because he dropped back a little bit then as he exited the chicane, because I know it's stingy through there towards the hairpin. But let's go back to TV cam and see what everyone else is doing as Fabian is looking across. Everyone's still surviving, but Dan Thornton, I think, has slid again. He looks like he's got damage, actually, has Dan. He went off the track in the same point he did last time on lap 1. Was there contact to help him? Austin Farr down the inside. He's on the grass. I think he's going to hit the wall. Yeah, he does. So he wasn't helped. But the car doesn't look very healthy. Anyway, back to your lead fight. Mats Borg Andersen behind Morgan Burkhardt has got a massive run, it seems, out of the final turn. Morgan struggling for straight line speed right now, which was the Hyundai's forte, as it were, in the previous 5 rounds before the update. Morgan Burkhardt defends. Dan Mould wants in on the action. Mats Borg Andersen is going to try and go around the outside of turn 1, and I think he's going to get the move done as they try and go side by side. Mats Borg Andersen has disappeared, and he's reappeared, but Morgan Burkhardt as a result. So Mats Borg Andersen is blinking. That's not going to be helpful for any cars around. And Morgan Burkhardt drops to P8, whilst Fabian Siegmann now sits in P3. That could be big for the championship. Roman Perschke went off as well, which is why he's dropped down the order. Done the same thing again, has he? Bounced over that curb, lost the rear end this time. On the grass, saves it, gets back on track. And this is where you see Mats Borg Andersen reappear, I think. Keeps disappearing. I hope that doesn't continue. That'll be very frustrating for the drivers around him. Fabian Siegmann, though, still behind Jake Cranston. Stefan Scheller is going to be given a chance to run away with this as Caraday slides it round whatever corner this is. The fast left, drifting, get it back on the circuit. Yes, he does. Steve Hellwood goes through and up into P21. Roman Perschke is off again, or he's got a slowdown. That looks like a slowdown. His car doesn't look damaged, so he's got to let a load of cars through. He goes down to P13 as we see some swappers down here. Is this more slowdown? Sam Van Olst was going down the order. Whenever you see anyone offline on a straight being passed by a load of cars, it's normally a slowdown. That was the instruction. I thought they were going to go 3 wide then. Duncan Murray under pressure from Corpus and Austin Farr, who's up into P17. Austin Farr up 5 places, as is Ika Lequay. Duncan Murray on the inside of Corpus down towards the final turn. Looks like he's going to get that done. And Austin Farr is going to get the run on Corpus. Duncan Murray is going to run away with it. And Roman Perschke comes into the pits. Why is Roman Perschke in the pits? Ika Lequay is flashing his lights. Don't know if he just wants attention. So he has had to stop. So that would be a meatball or damage. That's the same thing. I don't know why I did that. Meatball or damage? One or the other. Siegmann is up into P2. And he has passed Jake Cranston. Was it a mistake or was he helped? Down the main straight they go. I imagine they're going to go through turn 1 side by side. Siegmann moves across into the braking zone. That was risky. I reckon Jake's got to slow down. Yeah, he does. Moves over. Oh, it's gutting for him. Got to slow down on the inside of the turn 1 curve. Morgan Burkhardt is trying to get through all the Pulsar cars. It's looking feisty up here. They're not making it easy for him as John Bailiff pushes Stephen King towards the chicane. Morgan Burkhardt's on the outside. They're going to go side by side. Morgan Burkhardt does manage to get the high ground, comes through, gains the place up into P6, goes Morgan. 3 seconds to go, though, to get to Jake Cranston, who I imagine will let him have that to try and just give him an extra 2 points towards the fight with Fabian, as the Pulses boys are going side by side. Kieran Dempsey is going to have a look around the outside of John Bailiff into the final turn, and I think he might get this done, actually. Kieran Dempsey, all 3 Pulses cars fighting each other. Ridley just rubbing his hands together. Stephen Burns says Roman reached instant limit on lap 2. That's loving the white rims, says Biggie Morello. That would be on the Pulses cars, I guess. What was I just saying? Morgan Burkhardt's been passed by Stephen again. Why? How? What am I missing here? I'm trying to catch up on chat and all sorts of things. You guys probably saw that on stream whilst I was reading chat. Did he make a mistake? He had to slow down. Unreal. Can he catch a break? Andre Marek was questioning. It's not lap 2, it is lap 4, but I guess Roman did pit a couple laps ago. The instant limit is... Remind me, Stephen. It's not 17. Yes, either that failed to serve a slow down. Yeah, I would say that one. The slow downs are pretty strict around here. The instant limit's reasonable, I think. You can't get that on 2 laps, even if it is Imola with all of the track limits issues. Oh, these two are getting close. Morgan Burkhardt, Stephen King providing the entertainment in race 2. It's lap 4 of 8. We're halfway through. 18x is the limit. To get that in 2 laps is pretty impressive, especially when he was near the front. Steve Halewood is chasing down his teammate of Martin Wallace back here as well in P17. 2 ZFG cars. Right behind David Corpus. For Lurch's Gaming. Chasing the Pulses. I'm having F3.5 Hockenheim flashbacks. Hang on, I'm going to have to think back to this. Blue car. Which team was the red, white and blue car? Was it Spontex? Was red, white and blue Spontex in that championship? I can't remember. I do remember Hockenheim though, because that was a great circuit. Enjoyed the race in there. Shame about the contact, but it was a double podium for John Bailiff and Jack Johns. That was me. But Morgan Burkhardt closing in, and he's going to have a look around the outside. Stephen King is not making this easy for him as he defends into turn 1 and turn 2, and Morgan is all over him like a rash as they exit turn 3 and now go down towards turn 4, and Stephen moves it directly to the centre of the circuit. Sounded like there was contact there. He's going to go around the outside. He's on the inside for the next corner. Stephen King does lose out, and it looks like Kieran's going to come through. Morgan Burkhardt moves up into P6 once again, but the gap is now 4 seconds to his teammate as Kieran Dempsey is looking down up the inside, and he's going to move up into P7, I think. Sam's a lap down. How did that happen? Good question. I haven't seen Sam Van Olst pop up. He might be in the pits. That's an interesting one. Not sure what happened there. We can have one more look on board. Don't know. Didn't look like a hardware issue, so we'll see what happens. But look at this. Are these two going to fight for this? Stefan Scheller, I think, has 1 win to his name. I'll confirm that later. Fabian has 6. But it's a Husqvarna 1-2. Audi leads Hyundai, leads Honda, with Mats Borg Andersen for Team ORD on his way to a 2nd podium in 1 round. And look at that. Stefan makes it very easy. Lets Fabian through to take the win, whilst Morgan Burkhardt sits in P6 right now, trying to get away from the Pulsar's train behind. And look at this, side by side. It's the Street Casuals versus Goldwing. Austin Farr is making his way up. He's now up 8 positions. He's about to send it down the inside. Duncan Murray, no, backs out of it. Sits behind. This is the nose cam of Austin Farr, the Street Casuals machine. Lap 6 of 8. He's got plenty of time. 2 more places, and Austin Farr will be starting race 3 in pole position. That will be his aim right now. Austin Farr trying to get through. He's got 2 Goldwing cars to pass. One of them's out of the race. The other 2 are in front of him. Duncan gets all sorts of out of shape over the curve. Is he going to open up the inside? I would have taken that inside line personally, but Austin's playing it safe. He's playing it cool. He's been involved in too many incidents. He's got Joe Gibson for Team ORD in P11. That'll be a season best right now. So Joe Gibson will be putting up a fight for that place, I'm sure. Arthur Thurtle's in P10. Dan Mole is in P4. He's having a good round here at Imola as well. But what can Austin Farr do? He is where my main focus is right now. He's got the most to win. Also, Burkhardt and Cranston might swap places at some point, and it'll... Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, that was horrible because I was talking at the same time. I might have another one, excuse me. What was I going to say? If Burkhardt and Cranston swap over, Ridley goes down the inside of the chicane, gets the move done on Joe Gibson. That was very nicely done. We got a front row view of that. And now Austin Farr's going to get the run on Duncan Murray as they exit that corner down towards the fast right-hander, left-hander. I can't tell from this orientation. Right-hander. He's going to give him room. He's going to be on the inside as they go down towards the final turn. And Joe Gibson's going to be next on his list. One more place for Austin Farr to start the next race on pole. If Burkhardt swaps with Cranston, he will limit the damage to Fabian Siegmann, who is currently going to be earning quite a lot more points, actually. 6 points, I think, the difference between first and third. 1, 2, 2, 2. So maybe 12 points. That's a big deficit right now for Morgan Burkhardt. So that 2 points would take it down to 10 points, which would be worth it. Maddie Berger on Twitch says, woot woot. Austin Farr. Oh, Duncan gets all sorts of out of shape, and that's his good race. Down the drain and in the wall. He's out of this race. That is a very broken car for Duncan Murray. And it turns out your closest fight on track is indeed this man. That will be a slowdown, though. I think you don't want to be doing that. He's only got 1 lap to go. Stephen Fry is up 7 places from the start of this race, so he started near the back. He's now in P20. James Parfitt is in P22 again, just picking up those pieces. If he can get a P19, it'll be a season best. And he's been so close here at Imola on a tricky track as well. Not going great for Goldwing tonight, says Andre Marek on chat, but it is going great for ORD. Although Austin Farr is down the inside of Aqua Minerale on Joe Gibson, gets the move done. Eric's going to try and come through as well as they climb up the hill towards the chicane. And Austin Farr puts himself in reverse pole position for race 3 with 1 lap to go, but can he keep it? Carl Ridley's next on his list. It's going to be a Farr Ridley front row. Goldwing and Street Casuals, they're often on track together. Eric Manenveld, unfortunately, if he wants reverse pole, will have to take his teammate out of that position. Behind Joe, shifts gears. Eric Manenveld sucking his way up to the back of him. Slipstream enabled. Look how close he gets on the brakes. Joe enters 1 and 2, bounces over the curve. He is being absolutely hounded by Eric Manenveld here, but we're on the final lap now. Sigmund leads. Scheller, P2. It's a Husingveld 1-2 with ORD claiming... Oh, I'll tell you what, Matt Sanderson is not far behind, Stefan. So it is not over. Because we know what Mats is like. He's a racy driver as they go into Aqua Minerale, though. I'm not sure, if I'm honest, if he's got enough time to gain here. This will be your leaders coming up over the hill towards the chicane. Sigmund bounces over the curve. Scheller in. Mats Anderson in. Dan Mould is still there as well. And there comes Cranston, and there's Burkhardt as well. So Cranston getting ready to give that position, I'm sure. Ooh, that's not a... That's... There we go. You want trees? Have your trees. What am I trying to find here? There we go. That's what I wanted. Fabian Siegmund then, last lap. This is the final turn, and it looks like this is a done deal. Your podium looks very close together. It's 7/10 apiece as they go up the main straight and head towards that finish line. We're going to lose them behind the crowd, but Fabian Siegmund takes the win for race 2. Stefan Scheller finishes in P2, and Mats Borg Andersen takes a second podium of the night. And there is where Jake Cranston gives the position to Morgan Burkhardt, gives him an extra 2 points, settles for P6, does Jake, with Stephen, Kieran and John there in P7, 8 and 9. Arthur Thurtle in P10. I'll tell you what, Pulsus needed Roman Perschke to have a nightmare, because the other two score maximum points for Hustingveld in first and second. And this man will be starting in reverse pole position. And yeah, what did happen? Andre Mayerek, very good at watching that timing screen. What has happened to Joe, who did lose a few places? I think this is... That's where Austin passed him. Oh, Eric Manenveld. That's probably a penalty, to be honest. But I know I said I don't call it instantly. Ah, boo. I wanted to watch it again. You don't mind if I rewind, guys? I'm going to find it. This is practice. That's not the race. Idiot. So Eric sent it on the chicane. And Joe gets a run out. Such a shame for Joe, he's looking so racy. The question will be, did Joe move in the braking zone? That's what will be questioned by the Street Casuals team. Was he braking diagonally? And did Eric have enough of his car alongside? That's what the question will be. And then the next question will be, you'd have to have a look back at some of the other penalties we saw earlier in the season, where Morgan was pretty close to the back of people, and I think got penalties for similar things. As we have a look at the scenic cameras, let's have a look at this one and go over those race results. Wasn't very casual from Eric, says Andre Mayerek. So race 1 looked like this. It was Morgan Burkhardt wins, with Mats Borg Andersen in P2, Fabian Siegmund in P3, Roman Perschke in P4. This is a lot of points for Hustingveld this round. Imola, they have been doing great. Look at that, 3rd, 4th and 6th. Jake Cranston there, ruining their 3rd, 4th, 5th in between with the All Sports car. Dan Mold got P7 with the 3 Pulsus cars rounding off the top 10. This is race 1. You had Eric Manenveld and Carl Ridley there. Sam Van Olst was up there in P13. Arthur Thurtle and Duncan Murray. So Goldwing had a decent round. Corpus in P16. Gibson and Thornton there in 17th and 18th. That's not a bad points haul actually for ORD there. 17th and 18th as well for Thornton. Caraday 19th, Wallace and Hughes 20th, 21st, Farr, Parfit, LeQuay, Halewood, Weisfanger and Stephen Fry rounding off that grid. Can't remember what happened, Stephen. I think we saw him in the wall at some point. And then your race 2 results, we can do this in the other way round. So Sam Van Olst ended up in last after whatever happened to him. Duncan Murray was 26th. Roman 25th, Dan Thornton 24th, Hughes, Parfit in 22nd, Weisfanger and Fry up to 20th, Ike LeQuay 19th, Gibson 18th in the end, Caraday, Wallace, Halewood, Corpus Manenveld and Far, Ridley 11th, and then your top 10, Arthur Thurtle, Bailiff, Dempsey and King, Cranston and Burkhardt, Mould in the top 4, so that's a 7th and a 4th for Dan, he'll be happy with that. And then Anderson, another podium, 2nd and 3rd, with Stefan Scheller taking 2nd in race 2, and Fabian Siegmann, your race winner, making it 7 wins in total. He is on fire. Not literally. In fact, I can tell you some stats that will be interesting. So this is our 2nd season of the Racing Line Touring Car Championship. And if you head over to our website, you will find a stats page that looks like this. It's very beautiful. This is the RLTC Championship stats page. You can see stats about all the drivers that have entered in the previous 2 seasons, how many races they've entered, what seasons they've been in, how many championships they've won, how many wins, podiums, poles, fastest laps, and their highest finishes. Of course, you have this for teams as well, and manufacturers. Now, I don't need to have this on your screen, because you can just look at this website. But I'll show you anyway. Because we've got one more race to go. Race 3 is the finale. Now, the Audi in race season 1, as we've mentioned previously, super strong car it was. And that is why it's still the top car of all 3 across both seasons. '65 podiums. Crazy. It was a 12-round season. 3 races in each round. And the Hyundai has passed the Honda recently. The Hyundai was firmly in last place, but now with 15 wins, past the Honda, and it is chasing down the Audi. I would like to mention, just quickly, because this is going to tick over in 30 seconds, we're almost ready for race 3. Fabian Siegmann, 15 starts. This will be different now, obviously, because we've done this round. But 15 starts, 1 season, he entered this season, with 7 wins now to his name. He is the 4th most successful touring car driver in this series. If he gets 1 more win, he'll be equal with Connor Mills and Jake Cranston. Equal says not the best section of the website. Oh, wait, not the stats. You want me to click on gallery? This is Kakala's favourite page, Kakala talking on Twitch. That's because he takes most of these photos. I'm not going to say all, because we had a few people replace him in a couple of these earlier rounds. But there's some great pictures of the action. Look at this. I am aware it's grid time, don't worry guys. I can move this off your screens. I'll close that website. I might not have time to get through the grid, but we will find out shortly. Let's go for it. Quick time. Far, Ridley front row. Thurtle, Bailiff, Dempsey, King, Cranston and Burkhardt, Mould and Anderson, your top 10. Scheller, Siegmann, Manenveld, Corpus, Hailwood, Wallace, Carraday, Gibson, LeQuay and Fry, your top 20. Weiswanger, Parfit, Hughes, Thornton, Perschke, Murray and Van Olst down there in the end. I was about to say what happened to Murray, but then I remember he was in the wall. So yeah, that is that. That's your grid. It is race time. No music. All ready. Final race of the day. Race 3 of 3. Race 18 out of 21. And 5 lights are on for the Racing Line Touring Car Championship, powered by GT Omega in partnership with VCO eSports. Lap 1 of 8 begins, and Austin Farr gets away well, but he's going to be under pressure from Carl Ridley as they head down towards turn 1 side by side. Sam Van Olst is showing up as he's had a crash for some reason, but he hasn't moved very far. But Ridley round the outside of turn 1. And then look at this. Farr's going to hold the inside of turn 2. And I think Farr is going to have the lead of this race as they head down towards turn 4. But Ridley's not giving up right now. Side by side, and Thurtle's trying to come through. He's pushing the Honda of Farr. And it looks like Thurtle might go up into P2. He's going to have to give room to Ridley on the inside. That's going to give Austin Farr the lead he wants. Thurtle, oh my god, they're 3 wide behind. There's Cranston. Oh, that's a car off in the background. Which car? I think it was a Husingveld car. And is it Fabian Siegmann? I think it is. He's down the order. Drama here in race 18. Fabian Siegmann down in 25th place after whatever just happened in that shuffle round. But they're still very much fighting up here as Morgan Burkhardt moves up into P4. Ridley down into P5. King, Dempsey and Bailiff in 6th, 7th and 8th. It's a bad day for Husingveld fans as Sigmund now is trying to pass Duncan Murray on the inside of Aqua Minerale. They've had such a strong race 1 and 2 here, but this race is not over. He's got 8 laps. Let's see what that man can do. He's the fastest man out there, I think, today. I haven't seen the fastest laps, but let's be honest, he's been up there every time. How far can he get? And is he going to be flustered? But Austin Farr leads the race. He's got Arthur Thurtle chasing him down 9/10 behind. Jake Cranston in P3, Morgan Burkhardt behind him. We need to have some sort of breakdown of whatever happened. But look at these guys as Steve Hailwood moves out the way. Martin Wallace is up into P13. Joe Gibson's back up into P12. We've got more people. I think, is this still Hailwood serving a slowdown? Roman Persky round is outside. Sam Van Olst rubbing with Stephen Fry on the exit of the final turn. Side by side, Manitveld's got to pick his favourite driver or be selfish and go 3 wide towards turn 1. I don't think he's got the run. Sam Van Olst leaning on Stephen Fry, the meatball car. Eric Manitveld is now going to look to the inside, has to back out, thinks better of it, does not make it 3 wide as Sam Van Olst has the inside line firmly into turn 1. He's in P16 already. He started near the back. He's up 11 places is Sam Van Olst. I want to see that start from him, to be honest. But there's been a swap over up here. I think that's Burkhardt passing Cranston. And Cranston will now act as a buffer between him and all the cars behind. The chasing Australian Carl Ridley, who I think might have a slowdown there. Or is he just going wide? Although Stephen King has passed him. Who was that? That's a Pulsar's car. That's John Bailiff. Oh, there's 3 wide there. Don't move across so violently, John, in that Hyundai. Stefan Scheller, Mats Borg Anderson coming through. John Bailiff loses a few places. He's lost the other Pulsar's boys. Sam Van Olst, I think, tumbling down the order. Cool. This is race 3 all over. There's action everywhere. I can't watch any replays. I can't even catch a breath as I still see people swapping places. It's John Bailiff and Mats Borg Anderson. John's on the grass. Slides round Aqua Minerale. He's going to go under pressure from Stefan Scheller, who I think he was just trying to pass. Joe Gibson's having a look as well as they head down towards the chicane. They're not going to go 3 wide in here, but Joe Gibson is on the inside. Bailiff's going to think, no thank you, I'm going to turn in anyway. Gives him room to the first apex. Holds on to that. Look how close it is. That's how close Joe Gibson is as they exit the chicane. But this is a great day for ORD as Anderson's now in P9. Joe Gibson's in P12. There's a lot of points heading the way of this blue team. And Austin Farr is down in 5th place after leading. Joe Gibson's gone off. Saved that slide. He saved it and he didn't take anyone out. I feel bad for... Oh, that is not what I wanted to see. I feel bad for Austin Farr because he was leading. What happened to Fry? Contact. Off the track he goes. Sam Van Olst goes through. Fry does save it. But what happened to Austin Farr? That's a slowdown on the exit of that chicane. Oh. That would have been a new race winner this season. And I think Stephen King just about gets him in the background there as well. That is a shame. What happened to David Corpus earlier in the race? Whoa, we had a full spin. Look at that for a save. Let's slow that down because that showed what happened to Fabian, who's just passed James Parfitt. Does he get a nudge on the rear from Mats Borg Anderson, or does he get a spook? It was Dan Mould rejoining, but I'm not sure Dan could have done anything differently with how narrow this circuit is. That's a shame that it sent Fabian's car just from first glance. Jan's had an issue as well. When is Jan not having an issue is the question. There's a great gif of Jan Weiswanger in the Discord. Oh, it's Parfitt into the back of him. Do you know what? Jan Weiswanger, I apologise live on stream. I was assuming that you had made a mistake. I think that was contact that caused that. Not Jan's fault. Eric Manitveld and Roman Persky, Sam Van Olst Alejandro Caraday and Stephen Fry are having a 5-way fight here for... What position is this even for? P15. Interesting stuff to have a 5-way fight for that, but look at this. Morgan Burkhardt smells his chance of some points in this championship fight. And Arthur Thurtle is the only man that can potentially stop it from happening. Austin Farr, though, is not letting this go. He is still back there. On lap 4 of 8, and this train still very close together. Arthur Thurtle defends, goes left as they climb up the hill. That is a brilliant move. Sorry, I went quiet. I was holding my breath for that, but look at that. Morgan Burkhardt round the outside of that fast left-hander. Down into Aqua Minerale he goes, hits the apex and climbs up the hill as he takes the lead of this race. And now Cranston is going to try and come through as well as they climb up that hill towards the chicane. But I don't think it's enough of a braking zone to get that done. And Arthur Thurtle holds P2 behind. Ooh, is that a slow down for Jake, I wonder? He went a bit wide on the old exit there. And as they appear from behind the trees and the bridge, down into the Ravazzas. Arthur Thurtle, P2. Roman Persky going down the order again. I think he's in the pits again. Is he not serving slowdowns? What's going on? Or has he actually hit the incident limit this time? He's down there in 27th now. James Parfitt down in 26th. Seminol's still the biggest gainer in this race. He's up 11 places up into P16. He's just gained another one. That makes it 12. He's passed Eric Manitveld up into P15 now. That's 12 places for him. But Manitveld has passed him back. It's a good little fight back there. Should see it in the distance. And here it is. Eric Manitveld sliding his car, but they got Martin Wallace in 14th trying to hold him up, and that might be a slowdown for that ZFG car. It'll be frustrating. Brakes for Tosa, and on the exit of the corner, now Martin has to find somewhere to get out of the way. He's in the middle. Sam goes to the inside, Eric to the outside. I'm sure it's a slowdown on the exit of that corner, but Martin hasn't seemed to hinder anyone as they come flying around the right-hander. Stephen Fry is looking to get involved and does gain that place, so Martin Wallace loses 3 places. Roman Persky said, iRacing has crashed, X eyes. Oh no. Well, that'll be what happened to Roman then in race 3. Siegman not making as much gains as I thought. It is tough round here. He's currently in 19th. Every point will help. But you got to feel for this man. Austin Farr led the race. Made a mistake. Couldn't handle it. Sam Olst makes another move. He's up 13 places. Makes me wonder if he crashed out in race 2 on purpose just to have all this fun in race 3. Mats Borg Anderson and Stefan Scheller side by side down towards turn 1. Anderson round the outside, Scheller on the inside. Keeps the position, does Stefan Scheller in the Audi. Runs right out to the curb to defend from any potential moves from Mats. Chasing down Eric Manitveld now, who's still behind Joe Gibson in P12. And that is not what you wanted to do. You don't want to get on that gravel. And you don't want to get tagged by Ika Lequay into the hairpin and lose 2, 3 places, 4 places. Fabian Siegman goes through. Back on the circuit, 5, 6 places, 7 places, 8 places. Is there going to be more? 9 places. Brandon Hughes goes through. Big hit from behind, it looked like, from this point of view anyway. We're just looking whilst that was happening. Looking for Joe Gibson on the stats page. Getting close there. Joseph Gibson. His best result is a 4th. Time for that vote. There is 2 laps left of race 3. That link will take you to vote for driver of the day. This man is currently on to win both races. Arthur Thurtle is currently on for a P2. He's got Jake Cranston behind. This man finished 2nd and 3rd for Team ORD in race 1 and 2. He's currently in P9. This man, Dan Mould, has been in the top 10 all round. Get your votes in. Click your favourite driver's name. All the Lurch's cars are together. That'll be bad for ZFG with Halewood and Hughes behind them. Cranston wants that P2. That's 3 points for All Sports Racing in the Teams Championship. Every point counts with how close those standings were looking. But Arthur Thurtle will not give up easily. Look how close this train still is. Super impressive stuff. Imola always throwing up things like this, as we see Fabian Siegman, I think, just past Martin Wallace. And look at Ika Lequay drifting around that Minerale. I think Joe Gibson had a big old drift around that corner as well, but it didn't show up on my screen as an off track, so I can't find the replay, Kakala, I'm afraid. And here we go, on to the final lap then. Jake Cranston moving left, right. Arthur Thurtle is coming under pressure. Very much side by side. That is a massive run for Cranston there. Thurtle starts coming back at him. It's a Honda drag race down towards turn 1. Team SRL versus All Sports Racing. Arthur, later on the brakes, hits the apex. Jake Cranston has the high ground into turn 2. Bit of contact. Thurtle goes onto the grass. Austin Farr slides his way through into P3, and he's got a run on Jake Cranston for P2. Who would have seen that coming? Austin Farr is back in this race, but look how late Jake broke into turn 4. Stephen King and Dempsey are up into P4 and 5. Arthur Thurtle is offline and just losing position after position, and now Dan Mould's going to try and get through as well into Tozer. Stefan Scheller, Mats Anderson are getting involved. It's all happening in this final lap. Lap 8 of 8. Mats Borg Anderson is having to tuck in. Austin Farr, I think, might be out of options here. It all depends on how he takes this next section. Can he get it done into Aqua Minerale? I doubt it with this gap. It would have to be a hell of a lunge into this right-hander. His best bet is the second to last corner of Ravazza. But he has to get the almightiest of exits out of the chicane without getting a slowdown. And vice versa for Jake Cranston, who's using more of the road. I think Austin's settled for third here. It doesn't look like he's pushing. Both of them staying very much within the track limits. Steve Halewood's gone into the pits somehow. Go behind the trees, and we should see them emerge down into Tozer. And look at Mats Borg Anderson there, down the inside on Stefan Scheller. That was the type of move you expect on the last lap. But Morgan Burkhardt is all the way up the road, and he's about to cross the line for race 3 victory. Flashes his lights. Morgan Burkhardt takes the win for race 3, with Jake Cranston coming home in P2, and Austin Farr does get the podium in P3. He loses out one position in the end. He started in P2. Stephen King and Kieran Dempsey in 4th and 5th. What happened to Steve Halewood? Oh, Duncan Murray. That's annoying. Looked like Duncan moved over on him there a little bit from that angle. Go back live and we should see the final finishing order. This man will be happy with that, I think. It's a roller coaster of emotions, if you think about it. It was a race 1 win with his rival in P3, I think it was. Only 2 places behind. Followed by his rival winning race 2, being knocked mid-race down to like P7 or something for Morgan Burkhardt. And that is enough to get any driver flustered, annoyed, and think that it's over and give up. Definitely would have closed the gap down to around evens, I reckon, with that points deficit. And then here we are in race 3. With a Burkhardt win, up 7 places from where he started, and Fabian Siegmann, after that contact with Mould, down in 15th place, which will swing it back to around about where it was, I believe. And they both come into the pits, Arthur Thurtle and Morgan Burkhardt. Those final results then look a little like this. Morgan Burkhardt takes the win. All Sports Racing 1-2 for Jake Cranston as well. Austin Farr made it onto the podium once again. King, Dempsey, Thurtle, Mould, Scheller, Anderson and Ridley breaking into the top 10 for Goldwing Motorsport there. And then in P11 we have John Bailiff, Eric Maniveld P12, Stephen Fry up into P13. He's had a good, well, he looked like he was having a mare for the first part of this, but Silverstone last time out was good to Stephen. And it looks like race 3 at Imola was good to Stephen. Joe Gibson P14, should be happy with that. Fabian Siegmann in P15, but Joe might be disappointed with the earlier race where I think he was higher, maybe 1 place higher than that. Martin Wallace in 16th, Equilique 17th, Caraday in 18th, Corpus in 19th. The Lurchis Gaming boys all together on the circuit. Murray 20th, Sam Van Ols 21st, Dan Thornton 22nd, Weiswanger 23rd, James Parfitt 24th. 25th for Hughes, Halewood 26th, and Roman Persky with his iRacing crash down in 27th place. That'll blow the team's championship wide open. So, calendar looks like this. Magny-Cours next, or as Andre Mayerek would say, Manicore or Manicore. Can't remember how he said to say it. I'm going to stick with Magny-Cours because I'm English, and English people are ignorant of other languages. And that is not a... I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to say that. You can't call me out for that. Don't cancel me. It's true. Alright? I wish I spoke another language. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked here. Next week, Magny-Cours, 20th of March. It's going to be a belter. It's the finale. Who is going to come out on top? Morgan Burkhardt or Fabian Siegmann? Which team is going to come out on top? Team Husingfeld, All Sports Racing, Pulsus eSports. What is going to happen with all the midfield? I can't go through all the altercations there because there are so many things going on in this championship. It's so hard to keep track of, but only 1 round to go. And then it's the big special race, the 2.4 hour of Le Mans on the 27th of March, the week after, which is open to anyone to sign up. You need to join the Discord using that QR code. And keep an eye out for a sign-up form for the 30 Jetta spaces. It is free. The Jetta is a great car to race. 2.4 hours is an odd amount of time, so to make it look good, 2.2 hours and 40 minutes is what the race length will be. It is solo. It is not teams. Peter Ridley on YouTube says, great racing, everyone. Great commentary also. Thank you. I'm feeling a bit hoarse, but we're getting... I'm going to bed soon, so it doesn't matter. But thank you very much, Peter. The comments mean a lot. Thank you to everyone who joined in chat. And also, thank you. Well, just thank you to everyone for watching. Let's get some interviews going. And then we will, well, if the interviews work, bear in mind we've had Discord issues before. And then after the interviews, We can all log out, go to bed, and I will see you next week. Interview waiting room. Let's talk to Mats Anderson for Team ORD. It was a double podium and a P9 in race 3. Please tell me you're happy with that, and tell me about the new car and how it handles.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Race 1 and 2, really good. Race 3, too conservative, and thinking about just keeping the points there, basically. That's it. Cars, feel a little bit reversed on the tire degradation on the Honda and the Hyundai. So Hyundai better on tires, Honda a little bit worse. Power, yeah, straight line speed still a problem in the Honda, basically because of the shifting thingy.
You could strap a rocket to the back of that car, and I think you'd have the same answer in terms of the straight line speed of that Honda. You're never gonna want it to be fast.
No, it's not going to be fast in a straight line, but
that result had Honda, second, third, fourth.
Yeah, we got saved basically by iRacing nerfing the draft there. That's it, basically.
Dan Thornton in chat says Matt Sanderson is my hero after that. 3 top 10 finishes and 2 of them on the podium, second and third. Well done. It's been a great day, Matt, to be honest, for you. Great results. You said you were conservative in that last race. I mean, there was a big train in front of you, so there might have been a few positions up for grabs, but like you said, is it worth the risk maybe for a 1 or 2? You had a little dive at the end there on the second to last corner, so it was worth a try on the last lap for just one more. I think it would have been 2 more points. Is there anyone you had any decent battles with today? Anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you go?
No, the whole field basically in front there was really good racing, so thanks to those guys. Thanks to Joe and Dan for letting me race with them, and also my super wife for letting me do this. And yeah, thank you to you also, Jack, for putting this on once again.
No worries. Thank you, Matt. Pleasure to have you, and I'll speak to you soon. There goes Matt Sanderson for Team ORD this season. He was in Team Fear Factor last season. No wins for that man, but a few podiums and a few pole positions. And the story looks similar this season so far. No wins, but a few podiums to his name. No poles this time. The Honda not as quick as it used to be. But he's got 1 more round to try and claim that elusive RLTC win. Next up, we should speak to... we speak to him every time, bless him. We do speak to him every time. I can't see where everyone else is. I was going to drag someone from chat, but they're all down the bottom in iRacing chat. It's got to be Morgan Burkhardt, hasn't it? We've got to speak to our double race winner for today, Morgan Burkhardt, Zippy the Wonder Slug. All Sports Racing 1-2 there in race 3. Tell me your mindset after race 2's small contact, which lost you a few places. Did you think, after seeing Fabian take the lead and you were down in like P7, 8, did you think that was it?
No, I knew that I could race my way back up a little bit. I didn't think I could get, like up to the podium, but I think I could get, 5th or 6th, and it was just kind of try and get there without taking all too many risks. And then after I managed to get through race 2 in race 3, I was just like, let me stay away from everybody. I don't want iRacing netcode to do stupid things again. So just kind of keep my distance. I got really lucky getting through the lap 1 shenanigans and like everything that happened. I don't even know what happened. I just went through holes that kind of opened up and then they never seemed to close on me. So I got pretty lucky with that. But it was after race 1, I knew I had about an 8-point swing my way. And then after race 2, I think he had like a 15-point or something like that sway to his way. So I knew I had to make race 3 count, and I got lucky, and unfortunately, he did not. So
yeah, and you say unfortunately. I know what people watching and other drivers will think. Well, he doesn't mean unfortunately. It's always because it helps, obviously, with the rival dropping down the order. But realistically, I mean, you've been with us for all 5 seasons now, right?
Yep.
And genuinely, everyone that's watching, Morgan doesn't like winning that way. If this happens in the next round, for example, and Fabian has a nightmare that's through no fault of his own, and Morgan takes the win, of course Morgan will be happy to win. But we know that Morgan likes to fight and likes a challenge. Maybe not as much of a challenge as Colin Mills was putting on last season, because it was a bit feisty. But you still won by 2 points. We're not bitter at Pulsers, I promise, Morgan. We swear. But no, it is a shame to see Fabian drop down. But we obviously know he'll come back in France next week. Before I let you go, Morgan, as usual, is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you go?
Yeah, before I do that, I just want to... Fabian's been incredibly quick all season long. I got to give it to him. He's had monster pace. He's been a yardstick that I've tried to chase, and I don't think I've really gotten there all season. I've just been, a step or two behind. So, he's done a wonderful job this season. Big congratulations.
Just on that point as well, do you think, because I think I spoke to him once in one of the interviews and asked him the same thing, and you'll remember this back from the first Jetta Cup season, that beginning season, that debut season in these fields with these drivers, after, he's walked into a field of, there's at least 20 of these guys that have raced before. They've all picked up each other's tips and tricks in terms of whether they're good or bad habits of squeezing and fighting every tooth and nail for every position. Coming into a championship like that on your first time, he would have had to adjust after the first 2 rounds for sure, because the first 2 rounds didn't go as well. But having that experience under your belt, Morgan, here after 5 seasons, do you think that's helped you be able to sort of carve your way through this field? And something that, let's be honest, Fabian's picked up quickly. But has it given you that edge so far in this season, do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think that's one of the really, really big reasons that I'm leading the championship at this stage. It's because I have prior experiences with the drivers, and I know what to expect when I hop into the races. So it's because it's different than just hopping into official, because you'll get maybe if you do a higher SOF race, you'll get the top 3 or 4 who are willing to fight it out. In this field, you get the top 25 of 30 are willing to duke it out tooth and nail until the end of the race. So it's a different kind of mindset, and I think that experience has definitely helped me to be leading right now.
No worries. And then thanks and goodbyes, grandparents, parents, team.
Well, actually, I think you've heard it enough. You want to do it?
I would like to thank Morgan's grandparents and parents for bringing him into this world, letting him do the sim racing stuff and getting the rig and all that sort of stuff. Well done to them. All Sports Racing and any sponsorships associated, for example,
Major's Garage.
That one. Say it again. What garage?
Major's Garage.
Major's Garage. And of course his teammates Jake Cranston and James Parfitt, who as of last round put you into P2 in the team's championships, but we'll see what's happened after this round. Thank you very much, Morgan. We'll speak to you soon. Well done on both wins today.
Thank you very much.
One more. Let's do one more. And I can only see one other person in the interview waiting room. That doesn't mean we don't want to speak to him. We should speak to him because he's finished top 10 in all 3 races, I believe, if I am not mistaken. I'm sure he'll confirm that. I'm pretty sure he did because he looked like he was having a good day. It's Dan Mould for Team SRL. How are you feeling, Dan?
Relieved, Jack. Relieved. I finished 3 races.
Relieved. You survived 3 in a row. All at one track. And a tricky track, to say the least, as well. But a fun circuit, of course.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favourites now. I only drove around here for the first time in a TCR in the SRL League a couple of weeks ago, but one of my favourite tracks now to drive around.
Tell us, I'm pretty sure we managed to see some angles and call it on stream. But you would have had so the first 2 races looked pretty spotless, to be honest. And then I think, I'm not saying it was your fault, because there were so many cars around this area, but race 3, there was a big old cluster of people on lap 1. And it was where Fabian went off. Tell us your POV of that incident.
I got I think I was getting down for the right-hander, which you late apex it, and then I think it was Stefan who come up the inside, and I've had a quick look on the replay, and I'd personally, my opinion is he had no entitle to come down the inside, but it was netcode, which sent me sideways. I floored it to try and get the car straight, and the momentum of the car pushed me over the curb, and then I come back on, and Fabian just obviously was there and touched his back end. So
I mean,
I don't know where that sits, because
I mean, you've called it how it was seen. To be honest, it was all very close. It can't be classed as a bad rejoin when there's that many cars all fighting at once. Like, it wasn't like you were off the circuit at an angle and came back on perpendicular. There wasn't much. It looked like there wasn't much you could do in that situation.
Well, I came back on quite quickly because there was grass ahead of me. I thought if I hit that grass, it could be even worse. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. Everything will get watched back, of course. But
yeah,
a strong 3 top 10 finishes and a great circuit to do it at. Go on.
Could have done better in race 2 at the end. I think who was it? One of the Husqvarna cars got together with Jake, I think it was, on the last corner, and I could have gone round him, but the fact that I was saving a slowdown stopped me. So I just had to sit back, and tears welled up.
Slow downs are horrible around here, aren't they?
There was an opportunity to take 2 off him, yeah, and I just couldn't go for it. I was like, no. But it was my fault for running wide on the chicane. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 top 10s, good race, happy. So yeah.
No worries. And before I let you go, Dan, is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to?
Yourself for this very controversial series that you put on, which has kept my adrenaline pumping every Monday night, whether it be good or bad. It still brings me back to the league. Everybody who watches, everybody involved in your community, great bunch of lads, and of course the SRL boys.
Of course, they're out there supporting you. In fact, whilst you're here, I don't know, this might be awkward because I don't know if you'll get it, but I haven't actually looked at who got the votes for driver of the day. Who would you pick for your driver of the day?
I'm gonna have to go for Morgan. The lad's he's just got sheer pace, and not just that as well, he's got an absolutely brilliant attitude as well to racing.
You hit the nail on the head. It is actually Morgan Burkhardt again for the second week in a row. Oh no, not second week in a row. I think Fabian got it last week. But Morgan this week. Mats Borg Anderson was very close. 33% of the votes for Mats, 44% to Morgan.
Yeah.
11 to Stefan Scheller and 11 to Duncan Murray. I don't know if that's Duncan voting for himself or not. Or Sam. But we'll see. Anyway, thank you very much, Dan. Pleasure to speak to you as always, and I'll speak to you soon.
See you, mate. Bye.
Right. Dan Mould there. Great to speak to him for Team SRL TV. Go and check out their leagues. They've just started a GR86 league. I'm racing in it, guys. That'll bring some viewers, no? You're going to follow me? Come follow me. I'm currently leading the championship by 2 points after 1 round, but I don't know if I'll stay there. I didn't think I would have done as well as I did, to be honest, in that first round, but it's definitely worth a watch. Arthur Thurtle will be back next round, I believe, on their league. So that'll be interesting. And yeah, don't forget to join the Discord if you haven't already for the 27th of March. 2 hour and 40-minute race around Le Mans in the Jetta and these TCRs. Multi-class race. Broadcast. I'll probably be racing in that as well and find someone to commentate. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Thank you for joining us as always here on VCO Esports, YouTube and Twitch, and The Racing Line, YouTube and Twitch. I am The Racing Line. I'm your commentator, Jack Johns. As usual, that's pretty much it from me. Hit that like button. Don't forget to leave some comments. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if I don't see you on track this week, then I'll see you next week for the next video here on The Racing Line. Peace.